Them for everybody who know that they was born to be a fighter. 100%, nothing less. Let's go. I'm a warrior. I'm a warrior. 'Cause I'm a warrior. I'm a warrior. I'm a warrior. That's who I am. I'm a warrior.
It's the game. On and on. Welcome back. I'm in a happy mood. It's a great time of the year. We got the sis on the mic with me, but most important, it's football season, man. It
It's
is football
back.
season.
Oh, it's back. I'm so excited because I'm tired of everybody talking about basketball. I'm sorry, I'm over it. Y'all in here talking about LeBron, MJ, who to go, who not to go. Are they goats together? Old McDonald had a farm, EIEIO, whatever. It's I'm over it. Football is back. Let's get in it. Let's get to it.
The best season. The best
Yeah.
season. And if you
Mhm.
guys have not heard the announcement, you're like, wait, didn't you say it'll be some, over the time, Ash will reappear? Well, Ash gonna be reappearing quite a bit of times because she is now a permanent co-host. I said, we might have to get a little deal in the making. And you know what? We reunited, and ironically, it's just like off the record, old time for
Yeah.
my southern folks out there. Y'all know about what we did. We know what we
Period.
did.
And
So
off the record is still a thing. So y'all need to be tuning
still
into
is.
that too. Period. Shout out to SU, the best
Come
you.
on, come on. But as let's talk about our first episode a little bit.
Mhm.
Our first episode produced a lot of good buzz. A lot of people were loving our energy, the conversations. What was most impressive when we were talking about the aspect of that how black people per
Mhm.
se are limited to this entertainment field, and once we're done, we're pushed off
Yeah.
like we didn't even exist. That
Yeah.
really got a lot of people talking, and they were really impressed with us for even covering that because we took it. But I said the first thing about when I made this platform, we're gonna have these difficult talks,
We're gonna talk about it.
and like I said, it's a game on the field, but it's also a game off the field, and that's not just for players, for people that work in media as well.
Hello.
So, with that being said,
Mhm.
let's get into it. And we're just gonna do a favor and we're gonna just go ahead and just get into it for real. LeBron, we gonna get basketball out the way, y'all.
Lord.
LeBron. This is where I got mad at. I said, the off season was going too perfect, and then this happens.
Oh gosh. Listen, once again, y'all know I'm a Northeaster, okay? I'm a Jersey girl, okay? And where I live at in New Jersey, some people consider Greater Philadelphia, which I don't understand how it could be Greater Philadelphia if it's a whole different state, but that's a whole other conversation for another day. Nonetheless, where I live at is considered Eagles country, Sixers country. It's an extension of Philly. We got a lot of Philly fans, okay? Shout out to my little bro Miles. Is so excited about this whole ordeal. He ran out his place, was running up and down the street. Super happy. You got it. Okay. But the one thing that I will say about Philly fans, because I've been around them my whole life, y'all are extra. Y'all are OD extra. They done put LeBron on every bill before the man even stepped foot in the city. Okay. We had billboards all over the city. There was a welcome home banner on the Met, on the marquee on the Met in Philly, y'all. Like for real, okay? The governor of Pennsylvania gave LeBron his own day on the day he got signed. Does Allen Iverson have a day?
Hmm.
Does Matumbo have a day?
Does Dr. J have
Does,
a name?
does Dr. J have a day? But LeBron got a day. He got one quickly. Okay. He got one quickly. Now, I understand excitement. I get it. Because can't nobody tell me about my teams. However, I just feel like it's a bit excessive. You got Temple, shout out to my alma mater. You got Temple in here. They got LeBron in a basketball jersey talking about some welcome home. LeBron's not coming to Temple. He's coming to the Sixers. I know y'all would love for LeBron to come to Temple. We actually had a player on our team last year. His nickname was LeBron Frames. We had merchandise that had
Okay.
LeBron Frames on it. Listen, he's not coming to Temple. Y'all would love that. Y'all need him. Y'all need somebody like him, but he's not coming to Temple. LaSalle made a post. Welcome home with LeBron in a LaSalle jersey. First of all, LeBron ain't even go to college, y'all. Stop. Relax.
You
Breathe.
know
Breathe.
that part.
And what makes it so bad is I love Philly fans for the passion that they have, but let this man slip up. Let this man come here and not get them a national championship in 2 years that he's gonna be there. Oh, they're gonna call LeBron everything but the name that his mama gave him when he was
Exactly.
born. I God bless. Go with God, y'all.
You know,
Go with
I'm
God.
glad you say that because everybody's hyping them up. They're, oh yeah, Philly boy, they passionate. Philly's some passionate fans. I don't
Child,
see people from their hometown get
show him the
booed.
photo. Show him the photo. Pull up the Temple photo and show the people. Pull up the extraness. Let
All
them know.
right, I didn't want to have to do it to them.
Show them.
I
Show them. Because
didn't have
y'all not gonna believe me. The folks are extra, y'all. Y'all are
I
extra.
didn't want to have to do this.
Philly fans need therapy.
You know,
Y'all need therapy.
I'm just
Extra therapy.
I'm just looking at this and I'm like, y'all doing a lot. Y'all doing
A
a
whole
lot.
lot.
Like I said, it's a lot of stuff in here
A
that
whole lot.
I'm like, does it really call for that? Like,
A whole lot. It's insane. Absolutely insane. Y'all,
what is that? What is
y'all,
that?
hello, hello.
Come on
First of
now.
all, in front of a pool. What is that? Is that the pool that's at Strawberry Mansion that y'all say has been there that can't nobody find? What are we doing? Oh, what are we doing?
You know,
No.
but as what it really comes down to it to me, is that they're sitting up here. I said, so let me get this straight. Yer was mad and was ready to blow the whole NBA down when Kevin Durant said, I'm packing my bags going to Golden State.
Yeah.
With this,
Mm-hmm.
it's fine. But
Yeah.
then you got the critique. But no, the best part is the reason why it's different. Oh, well, when KD joined the Warriors, they was clear cut favorites from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
KD Pointer had numbers too. Everybody on that team scored over 20 to 25 points per game.
Yeah.
That's one.
Mm-hmm.
Two, regardless of the fact, it don't matter. Tyrese Maxey,
Mm-hmm.
Joel Embiid,
Uh-huh.
Jalen Brown,
Uh-huh.
LeBron James,
Uh-huh.
VJ Edgecombe.
Mm-hmm.
We don't, and you're not telling me there's nothing that's overpowering about that. We can turn a blind eye like this.
I mean, I don't think anybody's gonna turn a blind eye. I think it's what's expected now in the NBA. The whole culture of creating super teams is a thing. Um, people like to people like to create this narrative, which we're not even gonna get into because y'all gonna make me mad about that too, of comparing Michael Jordan and LeBron James about who's the GOAT, who's not the GOAT, and everything else. But the fact of the matter is, in MJ's era, when you're talking about talent being spread across a league through both the East and the West, you're
Yes.
talking multiple teams winning 60 plus games a year. You're talking about an even playing field. It wasn't, oh, we're going to send somebody here and then we're going to stack this team around him. That's what LeBron does. And I just feel like true champions don't chase rings the way he chase rings. Like they
Yep.
don't, okay, well, this team is booty butt cheeks. I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna go here. But granted, that's culture. That is culture now. That's what it is. And it's in the NBA. It's trickling down to the collegiate level with this whole NIL craze, and college players is going from here to there, here to there, here to there, here to there to chase a check and a ring. And it's like, whatever happened to taking a team and building it from the ground up? And even if you have an off season, whatever happened to the comeback season? Like, come back stronger. It's like, no, you
You
have an off
know,
season. I'm gonna leave and I'm gonna go somewhere else, and we're gonna be great with that team over there. And it's just like, hey, look, some people don't mind it. I'm an old school girly, so God bless.
for me, okay, okay, with that, LeBron, you're going over here, over there. But for me, it's like this. I look at Michael Jordan. Yeah, teams went to play, but teams play to him. He's never said, I'm leaving, going to them.
Yeah.
And matter of fact, y'all talk about the Cleveland thing. Who were the Bulls before Jordan got there? Anybody got an answer for me? That's
Who
right,
are they?
nothing but crickets. So, and to this day, the only six championships that the Bulls have was from the Michael Jordan era. That's one.
Yeah.
Okay. Two. First of all, let's not sit up here. Let's not sit up here and act like he's not ranging. Because remember, this is to the people that claim him as the GOAT. And guess what? Y'all opinions, that's y'all opinion. That's what you value. That's what you think that is the GOAT.
I would
I'm
definitely say that he's the GOAT of said this
yeah,
generation, right?
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
because they don't know no different, they don't know no better. They don't know no different, they don't know no better.
Correct.
You're like, oh well, he's the number one all-time scorer. He's also leading the league in turnovers too. But they'll say, well, he's been in the league 10 years longer. Okay, he's been in the
So
league 10 years longer, but has two less championships than Michael Jordan. So we're
and
we're
doesn't have
talking.
nearly half of his 30-point games, I believe. He doesn't even have half of his 30-point games.
So it's like you a bunch of other things. He doesn't have the amount of MVPs. You've been to the finals 10 times. You've only won 4.
40%.
That's a failing grade last time I checked. That's a
My
failing
thing is,
grade.
I claim, I will say this: name me one goat of anything all time that has a losing record when it matters most.
Dare I say he's not even Kobe? But once again, we're not gonna get into that, y'all. I don't want
We
to
not.
upset y'all
That's a
too.
whole different debate. But all I'm gonna say this, and then I'm gonna wrap this up.
Hmm.
Remind you, this is the guy that says, and guess what? As you should always think of yourself as the best. But
Hmm.
mind you, you're the best, right? So what you
Yeah.
playing for, dog?
Listen, if he does not bring Philly home, and I this is a hill I will die on. If he does not bring Philly home a championship within these 2 years, hang it up, throw in a towel, let your son do what he do, retire so you can go watch your son play, so you can
Mm-hmm.
go take care of your foundation, pour into the kids, do all of those things. Um, I think that needs to be his mission now, because I will not take anything away from LeBron. He is a phenomenal baller.
Yeah,
He complain a little too
yeah,
much for me. He talk a little too much for me, but he's a great baller. I will give him that every single time.
absolutely.
But if he does not bring Philly a championship, which they need it. Child, do they need it? Bring it to him. If he don't, good night.
That's it.
Good night.
Now, Ash, we done had enough of this basketball talk. Let's get into what the realness of
Please,
the league of sports is about.
please.
It's none other than football.
Hello.
The
August.
Pro
Hel-
Football
t-
Hall of Fame game is tonight between the Panthers and the Cardinals.
Hello.
And guess what? We
Hmm.
have a fresh class of Hall of Fame inductees.
We do.
But
We have 12 to be exact
exactly.
coming in for the class of 2026. Yes, we do.
And some notable, and you want to know what's funny about that? Some notable players, and we get into the point where people now should be recognizing them:
Mhm.
Adam Vinatieri, Drew
Mhm.
Brees, Roger Craig, Larry Fitzgerald, Luke Kuechly.
Very. Yeah.
Shout out to Larry, man, for
Yeah.
real. Shout out to Larry Fitzgerald for sure. You know, I look at this Hall of Fame inductee, well talented, well respected individuals. I'm talking about,
Mhm.
and for people who don't know Roger Craig, y'all need to look him up. 49ers legend.
Mhm.
Better put some respect on that name. And Drew Brees,
Yeah.
you know, yeah, my Louisianians, you know what it is. Y'all know what it is. Y'all
Lord,
know what it is.
Lord Jesus.
But
The
it's all right.
Breezes fans are excited,
But
y'all.
it's all right. It's all right. It's all right. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. But anyway, Luke Kuechly, which he remind you, Luke Kuechly retired at a very young age, but
Yeah.
he's one of the most talented players I ever seen that played the linebacking position.
Yeah.
Uh, Adam Vinatieri, kicker. He done hit a lot of clutch kicks. For all
Mhm.
my kickers out there that think your job is important, your job is very much important. Adam
You
Vinatieri,
are
first in the Hall
needed.
of Fame. You are needed. Trust
You
me.
are the difference between a loss and a Super Bowl ring.
Okay? And I tell you, you
Yeah.
one kick in front of all them fans, all right. That ain't no pressure.
At all. None. Easy.
But
Hey,
for
piece of
people
pie.
that don't know how this selection process is made,
Mhm.
you know, you actually have two committees. You have one for the modern ballot
Mhm.
and one for like the senior ballot, coaching, contributing committee, and they have totally different things in terms of the amount of finalists they choose and for the
Yeah.
amount of people that they can vote in. And
Correct.
Ash, I'm going to let you explain it a little bit more to
Mhm.
them.
Absolutely. So, shout out to the New York Times for making this wonderful graphic so we can break things down because I know a lot of people toss back and forth about how things are done or what happens, but a lot of people don't know. If you do know, kudos to you. But for the ones that don't, get your pen and your paper and pad and understand. Above all else, there are 50 candidates in the Modern Era Committee and they will vote on essentially the bulk of your Hall of Fame candidates for the year. Now, what you might not know is that majority of them, actually pretty much all of them, maybe one or two might not be, but majority of them are media professionals. Whether if it is print media, broadcasting media, front office, they are media professionals and they have been covering football for quite some time. I thought that was extremely interesting because you would think that I would hope that Hall of Fame players get voted on at least by their peers, or peers would be considered in the space, right? But that's not necessarily the case on the modern era ballot. Now, you have your three subcommittees that you have your senior committee, your coach committee, and your contributor committee. Two of which your coach and contributors are made up of 9 people apiece. They only get to select one finalist. And then you have your senior committee, which I am assuming, y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm assuming it's senior leadership of which selects 3 finalists. Okay. So that will give you 5 that will be voted on in its entirety. Right.
Correct.
But only out of that 5, a max of 3 people can be inducted from those 3 committees. Okay. With the 50 group of voters that you have, they get it all the way down to 7. Okay. And it's supposed to be a maximum of 5. Now, I would assume that there's wiggle room in there. There's details, loopholes, all of those things. Because if we do the math here, people, because we're all in school, right, guys? If we have a maximum of 5 on one side and a maximum of 3, that would be a maximum of only 8 that should essentially be added into the Hall of Fame. However, this year we have a class of 12. So I'm sure that there's wiggle room within that space in some kind of way. I digress. So yes. So I'm sure that there's wiggle room somewhere within that space, but we have a nonetheless, we have a group of 12. Can we show them who our induction class of 2026 is for this year's NFL Hall of Fame.
Okay. If you want starting off with our players per se, this is
Yes.
the list right here. This is our
Mhm,
players
mhm, mhm, mhm.
per se. Now, and also I am going to show this real quick, of course, of who also voted for them to get in, because I think y'all
Correct.
should know that. Pretty long list, right? Pretty
So
long list.
you have a representative from each each club for the most part. Okay. All 32 team areas get a representative that will get them a vote. And then you have your at large members, which make up the rest of that 50. As you can see, majority of these people on this list are media professionals, hands down. Radio, print, from what I'm looking in here. So you have the Kansas City Star, you've got newspaper in here, you've got ESPN in here, you've got um the Talk Fame Network, you've got CBS Sports, so on and so forth, NFL Radio, um the Detroit Free Press, just so on and so forth. You have a plethora of different spaces, which I do like because it's not just TV and or social. It's print too. Cause shout out to my people in print. Print is not dead. Um,
It's not.
but this is great. And you have your radio too. So it touches on a little bit of everything. I just thought that it was interesting that they're majority media professionals, but I guess it makes sense because the media are we're the analysts, right? We're the ones that gather the stats, the information, and we report that information out to the public. So I guess they are in the space to be able to kind of clock down everybody's statistics, who's qualified, who's not qualified, because they've been tracking for so many years. So I think that's really dope.
And also,
Really.
I'm gonna add this in. Why does that mean anything for you? Be like, well, how analysts do this? Well, we get paid for a reason. Cause guess what? We have to take these candidates that you see right here, and
Yeah.
that's like, all right, let me go through this man's career. What am
Hmm.
okay? Dang, this was a low, but man, he had a lot of highs. He did this,
Yeah.
and we have to dissect every little thing. So, you know, and to the people that say, "What about my communications degree? What about my journalism degree?" This is where it comes in. Because
This
guess
is
what?
where it can get you. This is where it
I
can
have to
get you.
break all this
Stay in
down,
school, kids. Stay in school. Stay in school.
and as I'm not even gonna lie to you, I think what
Mhm,
really puzzled me this week, and going in more to a preview of what we're going to talk about as this episode continues to rolls on,
mhm.
is that with journalism, there's still also a lot of pressure on
Oh,
us. A
yeah.
lot of people feel like we walk in, oh, they're
Yeah.
getting on this camera, they're getting on this mic, they come and talk to us, give their opinions on this. The pressure to perform is crazy, and you never know. You always want to be at your best
Mhm.
because this industry is very unpredictable. As
Yeah.
much as it's competitive, it is also unpredictable.
Mhm.
And you can do a wonderful job, but guess what? You never know that's guaranteed tomorrow. And I'm pretty sure you guys have heard about the ESPN layoffs, the Ryan
Yeah.
Clark, Cam Newton being laid off, and that's gonna come later on. But
Yeah.
more so, why I bring that up is because all well qualified, mind you, these people that have played the game as well on the field, that's
Mhm.
analyzing, and even their jobs are
Yeah.
not safe. So with that being said, take this journalism stuff, take what we do. It's not just always fun. We love to do what we do, of course, but also it's a
Yeah.
business at the same time.
It is a business, and it's I always tell people it's a hustler's market. You have to be on top of what you do. You got to be on your A game all the time. There's no break because the world doesn't sleep. Even though you do, the world does not sleep. This
It
industry
doesn't.
does not sleep. So we have to be on it. So when y'all get to lay your heads down at night, or y'all get off of work and you get to go home and you get to relax, we're in the books. We're online. We're talking to the people that we need to talk to. We're in coaches' faces, players' faces, our colleagues, having these conversations, getting these opinions so they can get out to the public and so everyone else can be informed on what's going on. I'm trying to tell y'all, it's probably one of the greatest careers you'll ever have. But when I tell you, it is not for the faint of heart, it is not
It's
for the
not.
weak. This is a hustler's market because missing 24 hours is like missing a year of information.
It
Okay?
is.
So let's be wise about those things. But yes.
And as going into our next topic,
Mhm.
I'm a Southern boy at heart. I'm in the South. It's SEC country down here heavily. As much as I love
Lord,
my swag, I love my swag. Shout out to the swag. It's always
shout
gonna be
out to the
swag.
swag. Yes.
But SEC is also very dominant down here as well.
Oh
And this
God, is
guy,
it? He just looks perplexed, don't he?
he does.
He just
For y'all that do not know who this man is, his name is Greg Sankey. He is the SEC commissioner.
Mhm.
If you're not familiar with the SEC conference, that is where your Alabamas, your Georgias, your Floridas, your LSU's, they
Roll
are all
Tide.
the roll tide rolled over. It's over. Sweet home. Go ahead now.
Screaming.
But this is the guy that, he oversees a lot in SEC, matchups, the business, the finances, making sure the conference is at its top state
Mhm.
at all given times.
Mhm.
He has never made the headlines as of late for, talking about how the SEC has considered the possibility of breaking off out of fear that the NCAA cannot uphold its rules and that the rule for NIL is too vague and things. But I'm like, but where was this energy 3 years ago when y'all teams were at the top winning national championships? It just seems suspect to me as of the few years that more teams are starting to compete with you guys and y'all bowl records not being as good as they used to be. It appears it's kind of crazy to say, well, now we want to break off. Break
Well,
off for what?
because I understand. I don't agree with it, but I understand the thought process, right? The SEC has been a dominant force in football.
Hmm.
Okay. Even people that don't know football that well, especially college football, they know SEC teams
Yes,
compared to Pac-12, Big Ten, um, they don't they might be able to name a couple, and I'm talking about people that aren't knowledgeable about collegiate football. But
hmm,
folks know SEC teams. They know their lineage. They know their coaches, some of their notable players. And I think because of NIL, right? And this is not me dogging on NIL, even though I have my opinions about NIL.
hmm.
I do think that NIL is good for players because they deserve to be compensated for everything that you're used for. However, where colleges like LSU, Alabama had the funds to recruit because their endowments were so large, you're getting a lot of the top talent, right? But
Correct.
now that we have NIL, Alabama isn't the end all be all. LSU's not the goal anymore. You essentially can go wherever you want. And this gives some of the other teams that might not have had those lineages an opportunity to now compete. So now that you're seeing more of the talent being spread out because literally players are changing teams every year essentially,
They
right?
are.
Um unless their NIL deal is different. Well, I can't say NIL unless their revenue share deal is different because there are some schools like Temple, for lack thereof a better terminology, that will bargain with their players when they give them revenue share deals to say, okay, you have to be here for 2 years to obtain this amount of money.
Hmm.
So now that you got the play, you've got them locked in for 2 years where they're free to go after those 2 years if they choose, but you're giving your program a little bit more consistency. The struggle with that is you have teams that need that stability. They need that stability, right? If you
Mhm.
have a star running back who's fire, on fire, y'all get to the playoffs, you don't necessarily win, you got to come back stronger. But now other teams have seen the talent that you have on your team and now they want him. And what they do is they go shop and they offer him more than what they know that that college can give them. So now not only are you starting off stress trying to come back stronger, but you're now missing your star player because he's now transferred to another school because he can get more money. He can take care of his business and do what he wants to do. And I understand the hesitation that we're getting from the SEC, but I don't think it's practical. Like, this doesn't make any sense. Y'all are going to break off because you don't think the NCAA can manage control of NIL.
Mhm.
So you break off. Then what? Then what? Right? What's your playoff system going to be like? Who are you actually going to compete against? Is this now? Are you going to treat the SEC essentially like how the NCAA treats the SWAC and the MEAC? So in order to play these other FBS teams, are you going to need to be on invite? And then that those games become money games. How does that work? How does that
Like
make sense?
and I think that's where I was more puzzled at. Is the fact that okay, I understand your dominance. That
Right.
will never be taken away. But
Mhm.
what does a single conference system looks like? Like, what's playoff format? How you
They gonna
gonna
be
play each
playing
other? Am I
every
playing teams twice in a year? What am I doing?
You see LSU was playing us in 2028.
Like, what am I
I
doing?
said, "Oh, that was quick." I said, "You just played us for the first time in 100 plus years in 2023, and now you coming back in 2028." I said, "Oh,
I'm like,
okay."
what are we? And granted, I done saw the debates. Is the Big Ten now the better conference? Is the SEC? Has SEC fully lost its punch? I think so. With that opinion,
Mhm,
if you're going from a historical sense, we know what the SEC has done.
mhm.
As we're going as of late, you know what the Big Ten has done.
Correct.
We have Indiana, Ohio State, and Michigan
Mhm,
as your last three national conference championship winners. I mean, national championship winners.
mhm,
However, I think the biggest point of the matter is, like you said, NIL has been a great equalizing factor. Now,
mhm.
granted, well, of course, you got your schools where clearly my NIL is going to top your NIL,
Yeah,
but at the same time, I can still spread talent in other areas that I know, 10 years ago, I would never had a chance of getting.
correct. Correct.
So here's my thing: competition is going to be competition.
Mhm,
My thing is, it's just, it sounds very it sounds very monopolizing to me of saying,
mhm.
oh, okay, and NCAA, you can't handle it. So guess what? We break off and do our own thing. What?
It's very elitist of them. Like, it's giving Mean Girls, you can't sit with us. It's giving Bye Girl is what it's giving. But I think that first of all, I think a separation would be crazy because I don't think the SEC would be able to manage NIL either because the minute you crack down on NIL, no one's going to want to come and play for your teams because they know that they can get revenue share in NIL at other schools in other conferences and be eligible for Heisman.
That's like,
Like, you break away from NCAA and you're no longer eligible for these awards. So then what?
so that was my biggest thing. I'm like, all right, Sanky, you need to go talk to Paul Feinbaum about that.
Mhm,
Because I don't know if here's my thing. Before you cook up something on the plan and have a discussion, make sure a plan is in place. That
mhm.
would be my best suggestion to you guys for that. And how about this? focus on your game. You already got a 9 conference schedule that you just went to that you're going to for the first time this year. Focus on
Yeah,
getting that done and adjusting to that system.
literally,
Like
fully.
slow the roll just a little bit, just a little bit, you
Just
know.
got a little too much dip on your chip for right now. Calm down.
But now my favorite segment of the show, getting into the whole life off the field.
Yeah,
One of our fellow people, person I look up to, I love how he analyzed the game. Ryan Clark was let go from ESPN. Not just him,
yeah.
along with quite a few others. You know, Bart Scott, Cam Newton, Charles David, Tom Pelissero.
First of all, can wait a minute. Okay, so can we talk about Tom Pelissero really quick?
Yeah,
I have had the wonderful opportunity to not just meet him, but have an internship at NFL Media where I've gotten to see how he works. Now, for everybody that's not used to entertainment world and entertainment life, um, when you were on set on studio and you are having a conversation, there are times where you might ad lib with your co-host and all those different things. But there's this thing called a teleprompter, right? That keeps you on track for your script. Now, there is always a script loaded for Tom Pelissero. Always. He doesn't use it. He does not use it. This man is a beast at what he does. So to see him go, I was for him to be one of the people that got laid off, I was surprised because Tom is very consistent in what he's been doing. Um Cam Newton, not really surprised by that.
okay. And I
Um
don't want to say it like that, but
I
seeing
wasn't
Cam on the
surprised.
list wasn't the shocking factor
I wasn't
of
surprised.
him. I'm like, okay, Cam not being there, I could kind of see what was going on.
This man literally punched a HBCU mascot on national television. Like
Like, like
there's only but so much.
that's what I'm saying.
I very much root for everybody black. I root for everybody black. But it's like, bro, I can't even help you, bro. Like,
It's like,
I can't
dude,
help
but
you.
hold on. The fact it was a simple contest and a mascot just being a mascot and just trying to create some natural humor.
Like,
And dude just said, I'm a
left
spaz out
hook,
right now.
left
And that
hook.
was-
I'm so glad that that college, mind you, it was a college student. I'm glad that that college student had on that mascot head because I feel like he would have got knocked flat. Not gonna lie.
Matter of fact, I feel so bad because I believe that mascot was an Alabama State Hornet. I felt so bad. I felt so
What
bad.
is happening? Like, what are y'all doing?
I'm like, okay.
Ryan
Ah,
Ryan Clark broke my heart.
it did.
And it broke my heart. He did an interview and it was an extremely candid interview. And the one thing that stuck out to me was he said he felt like he couldn't be too black.
That
Now,
hurted me. That hurted me when he had to say that.
now these are things that unfortunately um our white colleagues, Latin colleagues, um, might not fully understand. And I'm not faulting anybody for not being able to understand, right? You don't understand what your lived experience is not, right? But unfortunately, if you are African American in these spaces, there are some unspoken rules that we all abide by naturally just so we can chase our dreams and do the things that we love to do. And unfortunately, there's a lot of code switching. For those of you that don't know what code switching is, that is assimilating to what would be a Eurocentric culture in corporate America or in business culture in order to be accepted and or respected, right? Which means when you have somebody like Ryan Clark, who is a vastly respected individual, his opinion is really respected. He's great at what he does, but he also has a heart for people
He
and
does.
he loves the game and he loves what
Genuinely.
the game does for young athletes. He loves what the game does in terms of bringing people together. But in that same essence, he didn't feel like he could be his true self. Now, when I'm trust me, when me and E get off here, when we get off this stream, trust me, we're gonna be chalking it up, laughing. It's a completely different conversation than what you have to present on camera. You could sprinkle, you could salt bay your personality.
Yeah,
You could
absolutely.
you could it's
You
not completely falsified from what you see, but it is what some would consider more polished depending on who is critiquing the polishing. Okay. Are you picking up what I'm putting down? I don't know if you're picking up what I'm putting down. Are they following? E, you following? We
I'm
got it.
following. I
All
got
right.
you.
So for him to get emotional to say that you do something you love for so long, to leave somewhere, to feel like you couldn't impact this industry to the capacity you wanted to, because if you did that, you would be penalized, as he was. Anytime he said anything about anything regarding anything in social injustice, they forced him to apologize. It was always a
Apologize.
PR statement. It was always something coming out afterwards. And it's like you're making him negate things that he doesn't agree with. But
Literally.
then you get people like Stephen A, who could say essentially what he wants. He could tell the world that he's about to run for president,
Literally.
talk about whatever he wants to. And
Matter
this
of fact,
man gets a raise every year.
allows him to go on ESPN and have this one-on-one rant showdown about what LeBron James did from a event that happened months ago.
It's insane. And I think it's a double standard for a lot of reasons. People will say, well, Stephen A is black. Stephen A is black. Ryan Clark's black.
He also claims to be the big one of the big bosses at ESPN. So if that's the case, did you speak up for him?
There's so many things that I could say. I'm not gonna say because I'm trying to be a better person in Christ. However, this hurt. This hurt me.
Yeah.
Because we are seeing a complete turnover of the diversity that has come so far in sports journalism and broadcasting. Um, as a matter of fact, you know what? We can show you better than we can tell you. Pull up the picture of the broadcast teams for college football this upcoming year. Let's pull this picture up. Now I want y'all to look at this. Okay? I want you to look at this. Okay? And I want y'all to tell us what y'all see. Please drop it in the comments. Because they say a picture is worth 1,000 words, is it not?
Mm.
Now, not saying that these journalists are not great at what they do, because there are. I have no complaints with the work that they put forth and how consistent they are. But what I see is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 women compared to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 men. So you got a 7-to-20 ratio, female. Okay. Out of those 7 women, there's only one African American woman posted here, and that's Cherie. Okay. Out of the 20 men that you have 2 African American men here. Okay. From what I see, and this is just me going off of names alone, last names alone. I don't see any Latinos. Okay.
Nope.
Don't see any of those. Certainly don't see any Middle Eastern. I don't see any Asian up here. So, what are we presenting to the public?
Hmm.
What does that image tell us?
You know who I also don't see, Ash?
What don't you see?
These people.
That's so crazy. That's so wild. Because first of all, shout out to Tiffany Green and Jay Walker, HBCU grads alike. They've been doing what they've been doing for the past 10 years, and they cover HBCU football. Tiffany Green being a play-by-play commentator. Jay Walker does play-by-play, and he is also an in-game analyst as well. They are great at what they do, and I am so appreciative for them not just shining a light on HBCUs and the talent that comes from HBCUs, but also sprinkling a little bit of our culture the way that they do. Because
Absolutely.
Eric and I have had the pleasure of watching Tiff and Jay do what they do in real time, and they're great. But it's crazy how they both work for ESPN. Now, E, go back to that picture. Go back. Show the people where they at. Are HBCUs not colleges? Are historically black college
I'll do you one better.
or university, right?
I'll do
Right?
you one better. Those individuals, Jay Walker and Tiffany Green,
Mhm.
they commentate mainly for HBCU football and give us the proper production that we deserve.
Surely.
But also, they dibble and dabble into bowl games too. When it's bowl game season, I done caught them
I've seen it.
commentating
I've
their
seen it.
football games as
And
well.
you cannot, let me tell you, you will not be able to miss Tiffany Green's voice.
You can't.
You can't miss it. You know it's her. When she starts talking, you know it's her. When you hear Jay Walker, you know he's talking. Okay? Um this is what's upsetting to me. Like I said, not taking away from anybody's talent at all. Not taking away from anybody's talent, not taking away from anybody's hard work. But how do we report on a demographic? Now, mind you, this is just football. We're talking football. Statistically, majority of the players that play the sport on the collegiate level are of what demographic, Eric?
Black.
They're African American. You tell me how this represents the mass amount of people, diversity wise, that they are critiquing, that they determine whether. We just told y'all it's 50 people that work in the media that determine Hall of Fame for the NFL and all these things. You have people that are critiquing them that don't look like them. You have people that are critiquing them that have never picked up a football to play in their life.
Never.
They just read statistics and numbers. Okay? So when we think about what life looks like, sounds like, what it's meant to be like, this is where we're at. This is what ESPN is moving towards. Because usually when you see layoffs, you're seeing move to a different, idea and space. But that's also another reason why I mentioned Tom Pelissero, because Tom Pelissero is not African American.
It's not.
So like what is the goal? And it's so horrible to think that in 2026 we got a lot of stuff going on politically. We're not really going to get into that. But what I will say is our First Amendment rights are in jeopardy. We are in a space where our voices as journalists right now mean more than they have in a very, very, very long time. And to see big networks like ESPN make moves like this, it's one thing to say, okay, this is what we need to do for the business. But when you see it lined up like this, it's very telling. It's very telling.
For me, Ash, I'm gonna play a video of Ryan Clark. Not the not the one when he was emotional, because you brought that up, but this is another video I
Question
was
is,
listening
did you
to.
see it coming? Could you take us inside that moment?
Yes and no.
I'm upset with myself from this perspective. There were signs, but I truly thought for the first time in my life, I worked so hard at something. I was so good at something. Everybody acknowledged that I was, that they couldn't fire me, that they wouldn't fire me. That a company who's going to have the Super Bowl this year, who truly wants to put their best foot forward to the entire world and have the best people talking about football, wouldn't fire, in my opinion, this is my opinion, and it seems to be the opinion of many others, the best football analyst in the world. I didn't think that, and that's my fault. This offseason, our piece on Monday Night Football with Greg Brooks won an award, a diversity award. And our showrunner and our director and our producer were so excited, and it was like, PR is gonna post it. And it never happened. And eventually I just posted it myself, and then PR reached out like, oh, I'm so sorry that we missed it, but the Emmys are coming up and we'll post it afterwards. And I just remember sending a text to one of the people I work with, and I said, they're not gonna post that, they don't care. A company that posts about, cool things like spelling bees and post about the family feuds and all of these things, didn't care about an actual segment on our show about a young man like Greg. Didn't care about that enough because of me to use it.
I'm a I'm gonna put my 2 cents into this.
Okay.
Why am I hurt? Well, one, I personally connected because one, I'm a South Louisiana boy myself.
Yeah.
I understand what he mean by, you work so hard to get you bettering yourself in all ways possible to get to the level that you are at.
Yeah.
And you put all those energy, you really, really become very attached to what you do,
Hmm.
and to have it taken away from you from a split second decision. Just saying, hey, you know what, we're gonna move on from you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm making fine, but I know what I gave. I gave everything I had,
Yep.
and you snatched it away.
Hmm.
That pain thing, and what really sickened me was to see some of the comments saying he's being soft, or this man getting called out because he had emotions behind a career profession that he deeply cared about and put his all into. I'm like, what? What world are you living in? I said that is a definition of somebody that's not in it for them. That's pure journalism to me. A journalist, yeah,
Hmm.
everybody can see the fan. Everybody can see, oh well, you know who he is when he says something. To us, we do a job that we care about because we genuinely have love for it.
Yeah.
So to remove, so we are more emotional behind our. I know, Ash. I've been worked alongside you for many projects. I
Hmm.
saw you put your passion into it. You didn't see me put my passion into projects,
For sure.
and we couldn't imagine. Mind you, we was hurt if a fault in the plan happened where, hey, this malfunction, this, and we was hurt then. So
Stressed.
imagine this is what I'm paid for,
Yeah.
and you took that. I'll be
Yeah.
hurt too. Cause I
Yeah.
know how hard it is. It's a competitive industry. But what I am gonna give a shout out to HBCU Go for picking our brother up when he needed it.
Yeah. And to be honest, representation matters.
Yes.
Representation matters. It's important to see people that look like you in spaces that need to be where you want to be. It's important for me to see people like Cherie Burris, Tiffany Green, Pam Oliver, Ty Floyd. Even our colleague Sidney Coulier, Germany
Yes.
Boltzmann. Like it's important
Shout
to
out to them.
see people that look like us, right? It's important to see the Taylor Rookses of the world. It's important from the LaChina Robinsons, the Andrea Carters.
Yes.
It's important to see for me being a black woman in America, a sports journalist. It's important for me to see that on large scales on the big networks because at one point we weren't allowed to be there, so when you take somebody that has the care of things like Ryan Clark who actually cares about people's stories. You remember when he sat down with oh goodness, oh Lord, what's the baby name? From LSU.
Greg Brooks
Yes.
Jr. I think.
Yes. And looking at him and looking what he used to be like, just watching the videos and how he used to be this athlete that was just on fire, has a terrible injury, okay, that literally almost took him out of here,
Literally.
okay, and is now just happy just to be alive. You know what I mean? His speech is impaired, and there are things that, you know, life looks very different for him now. But to watch Ryan have a candid conversation with him, so much to the fact that he was emotional afterwards, because those kind of conversations put life in a real perspective for you, where you can say, oh my gosh, like here I am worried about A, B, C, and D, and this boy is just happy to be alive from playing the game that he loves,
Yeah.
that he talks about every single day, a game he's played. So like these are things that I'm just, ESPN fumbled the ball with Ryan Clark for sure.
Absolutely.
For sure.
And just piggybacking off what you said, Ash, I'll have to say, granted, like I said, by the way, y'all, made an E on my final project in grad school. Happy about that. Um, but as I was interviewing
Mhm.
every woman, every subject I had to do for that project, you know, as I was writing the project out, writing everything, putting it all together, yeah, I was happy about the publishing, but that journey of collecting all of those golden nuggets, these gems, and these firsthand experiences, pouring out and sharing these stories and trusting me to share the story properly, that's the best part about being the journalist.
Mhm.
You get to make unheard voices become heard.
Yeah.
So that's why when we go in these interviews, we want you to feel confident and tell us. Because
Mhm.
guess what? And when we write, you be like, oh, you stressing over this? Good. No, it's not good to us because we won't make sure not a detail is missed that needs to be out there.
Yeah.
You know, so I feel so wholeheartedly with Ryan Clark. He was definitely one of my inspirations I
Mhm.
looked up to and
Mhm.
still look up to because of the fact is, even though, yeah, it did lead to an unfortunate consequence,
Yeah.
he spoke on what needed to be spoke on.
And
And
he's
that's
gonna
what
be better.
made and that's what made me come up with the platform I'm coming up with and having these conversations because this is stuff that is need to be said and
Yeah.
that I think it's important that we keep on pushing.
Mhm.
So when they laid him off, I was like, that's a hidden that's a good gem. That to me,
Mhm.
he was the future of ESPN.
He gives, and the people might disagree with me, but his demeanor, his care, his thoughtfulness gives Scott Stewart to me.
Yeah, another
Yeah,
inspiration,
Scott, sorry. All right.
another inspiration of mine.
R.I.P. Um, and but like I said, Ryan Clark gonna be all right.
He
Ryan's
is.
gonna be okay. Um, it's just unfortunate that we see how America is turning politically and how that's affecting one of the areas that seldom gets touched by politics. Um, and it's the one area that literally brings people together of all races, creeds, ethnicities, genders together just to enjoy themselves and have fun, and to see how the media is infiltrating these spaces and what it's turning it out to be is just, it hurts my heart, but at the same time it makes me want to go that much harder, because it's like, oh,
Absolutely.
y'all not finna swoop
No,
in
no, no, no.
and
You're not
just
gonna run me out.
swipe us out now. Like that's just not how this is gonna go. But it is one of those things that I think about often, especially now, that I'm conscious of. I don't make a huge deal about it, but it is something that sits in the back of my brain, and it is something that I'm conscious of. But Ryan Clark gonna be all right. He'll be fine.
And right before we end off, I just want to say this. there's a lot of misconceptions out there, people. Like when we tell you some stuff happens off the field, stuff happens. We all have a personal life that we are dealing with. A lot of people, are so critical nowadays. I'm like, you haven't lived that life though. You have not. You're not in that person's shoes.
Yeah.
Granted, bear with me, and as we get off the camera right now, guess what? She got their life to live. We
Yeah.
still have to go in and survive.
Yeah.
You know, after this, I still got to finish, which I'm proud to announce, y'all. I'm gonna be graduating in September. I have my master's, but that is,
Period.
but that is a thing. That
Hmm.
is a thing, though. You
Yeah.
know, um, the misconception I just want people to understand is that people deserve grace. People deserve to have emotions. People deserve to feel how they feel on certain things. That is not a law saying this is how your life is gonna go.
Hmm.
It's not.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, Ed, do you have anything to tell these people before we get out of here?
This is what I will say. Take a lesson out of Ryan Clark's book, right? Pivot. When life comes at you, pivot. And understanding that if you have to pivot, it's not a declaration of who you are and the work that you've done. Don't be overly cocky about what you do, right? Like, don't underestimate the fact that you can't be taken out of a space, right? Somebody's always trying to come for your spot. It could be coming from the top or it could be coming from somebody that's coming behind you. So you want to stay on your P's and Q's. But at the same time, if you do get removed from a space, understand that that is not a declaration of your hard work and your work ethic. Your voice is needed. You are needed. And I'm grateful to have these kinds of conversations because it reminds me that our voices are needed too. They
Absolutely.
are. So it's cool to see those things happen in real time and to say, okay, just because this did happen to Ryan Clark, I'm not going to be stressed that it could happen to me. I will understand that reality can happen, but we still gonna press forward and we gonna keep
Exactly.
pushing
And the fight still goes on.
as always.
Well,
Go
y'all,
Jags!
go Jags. Because guess what? It's NFL season, but guess what? It's almost Jaguar football season too.
Hello,
And guess
Alabama
what?
Safety coming for
Guess
you.
what? My grad school did not have a football team. I'm pretty hurt about that. But guess what? Go Temple Owls too. Go get them. Yeah, guys,
Period.
go
Go
get them.
Owls. Period. We're gonna pray about it. But shout out to Coach Keeler. Um, but yeah, like we're excited. Shout out. But really though, don't get me wrong. Yes, Temple is my alma mater. Go Owls. But I'm a forever Jag. Go
Absolutely.
Jags. And I'm gonna need y'all to leave my head coach alone. Leave him
No,
alone.
for real. And guess what? Don't think I'm not collecting receipts because I'm coming back strong.
I can't wait. Next week is gonna be a good one, y'all. Oh, wait,
Collecting receipts.
okay.
All I'm
Bad
gonna say,
Nation, I'm gonna need y'all in the chat, peeps. I'm gonna need
all I'm
y'all
gonna
in.
say, check your recruiting trail. We already getting them. That's all I got to say.
Hard work happens in silence. That's all I gotta say on that one. Period.
All right, y'all.
Come on. This the anthem for everybody who know that they was born to be a fighter. 100%, nothing less. Let's go. I'm a warrior. I'm a warrior. 'Cause I'm a warrior. I'm a warrior. I'm a warrior. That's who I am. I'm a warrior.
It's the big all in all.